Everybody is talking about GST, and some people are using some very complex phrases like it'll unify the value chain and it'll eliminate the cascading impact of taxes, and others are using some very simplistic things like will prices go up or go down. Let me try and explain to you what I think GST is and what it will do. When I'll use the example of the Quint, which is, we are a digital publisher. We use devices like this one, a cell phone, a mobile phone, and we publish digital content and we monetize it by selling to advertisers. Now, when we sell to advertisers, we are supposed to deposit a certain amount of service tax. So if we sell 2 crore rupees worth of advertising, let's say we have to deposit 30 lakh rupees of service tax. But when we create content and we have people like writers, cameramen to whom we have to pay, we deposit service tax on their behalf. So now imagine we sell 2 crore rupees worth of advertising, we have to buy content creation talent of 1 crore. So we pay 15 lakh rupees of service tax on behalf of our content creation talent, and we have to deposit 30 lakh rupees. So the 15 lakhs that we give, the government says you can set off, which means of the 30 lakhs on my 2 crore sales that I have to deposit, I now have to deposit only 15 lakhs because I've already put 15 lakhs on behalf of people to whom I've paid. Now, if I've also spent 1 crore rupees in buying this cell phone which I use, but since this is a manufactured product, I get no set off on this under the current regime, under the pre-GST regime. So if I've spent 1 crore rupees and out of that crore rupees 15 lakhs was sales tax, I'm not allowed to set off that 15 lakh of sales tax. If I was allowed, then I wouldn't have had to deposit even a penny because I had to put in 30 lakhs on 2 crores of sales, 15 lakhs on behalf of my writers, and 15 lakhs on behalf of this. That wasn't allowed in the earlier regime. Now it is. So I don't have to deposit that extra 15 lakhs because the 1 crore rupees that I spent in buying this phone, on which I paid 15 lakh rupees of sales tax, that also now I can take credit for. So that's a big advantage. You now have a unified tax structure. In the earlier pre-GST time, service taxes were in a silo, manufacturing taxes were in a silo, which is why I could not combine the cell phone, which is a manufactured product, with the content creation of my cameraman or my writer. Now I can. That's the big change. That's a big positive actually of the GST regime. So the other problem with the pre-GST taxation system in the country was what led to this cascading impact. Now India, politically one country, in a market sense, in a taxation sense, actually as many states, as many union territories, as many taxes. And therefore, if something like this cell phone, if it is made in Tamil Nadu and it has to be sold to us in Delhi or Noida, it has to travel through Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat perhaps, Rajasthan, Delhi. At every state border, it is stopped, it has to pay octroi, and then when it reached Noida or reached Delhi, everyone had a different sales tax structure. So it just kept on adding to the cost of this phone. That's what's called the cascading impact of taxes. Now under GST, India has become one country. India was always politically one country. Now in a taxation sense, India has become one country. So you don't have to pay octroi at every border. You will not have different sales taxes in different cities or different states. It'll be one tax. So it will eliminate the fact that there is multi-point taxation in the country. So that is another advantage of GST. So if these are the advantages, why are people worried? What's the drawback? The drawback is in the way we have made our GST somewhat complex. All over the world, there are 2 or 3 rates of taxes. One is 0%, where you don't want to charge any tax, let's say on health products. Then there is a merit tax, which is what the bulk of taxes are, what normal people like us eat, drink, wear, we pay on taxes on those products. And then there is a demerit tax, which is a luxury, which if someone wants to consume, it's conspicuous consumption, you tax much higher. So 3 tax rates, and that's pretty much where it should stop. But we are Indians, so we have created 7 tax rates. And then we've also created confusion in between these 7 tax rates. So for instance, if I use coconut oil for oiling my hair, don't look at me, someone else's hair who's got a lot of hair, if I use that coconut oil, I pay 1 tax. If I use it for cooking, I pay another tax. All of us have had Kit Kat, right? Now, is Kit Kat a chocolate or is it a biscuit? Because you pay different tax rates for either category. Rubber chappals. If they are just rubber chappals, that's one tax rate. If they have a strap, they become sandals. It becomes another tax rate. So in typical Indian fashion, we have just complicated our lives. That's the number one problem that we have imported into our GST regime. Having said that, it is a democratic country. It took a lot of time to get every state involved because the states have now given up their power to tax, which is why India has now become one taxation country. Otherwise, earlier 29, 30 states had their own taxation structures. So, to incentivize them to give up their power to tax, there has been a long negotiation, and therefore some of these complicated structures have come in. For instance, states have still not given up the power to tax alcohol. They have still not given up the power to tax petroleum products. So all of that is still outside the GST. So like in all democracies, there's been a lot of give and take. We have got a very complex structure. But I believe that as the country becomes comfortable with this, as the states become comfortable with this, as the states begin to realize that actually the tax revenues are going up and not going down because of the unification of the command and the digitization and the transparency, people will become comfortable with the idea of GST. Some of this complexity year on year will keep on going away. And my belief and my hope and my desire is that we actually come very quickly in the next few years to this three rate structure of zero, merit and demerit. I'm sure we'll get there. Once all of that happens, I can assure you, do not believe anyone who says that this is not positive. This is one of the most positive, this is one of the most dramatic, and this is one of the most beneficial economic reforms that has happened in India. Now, enjoy your Kit Kat.